Africa way. Thank you very much. Good morning, wherever you are in Africa. This is the People's Court, the show that is going to go on for 1.5 hours from now. Thank you very much. Get tuned with my panel already in the studio, ready to go down in Nairobi. Good morning, Miriam.
A very good morning to you, Doctor, and good morning to the rest of the panelists, and good morning to our viewers out there.
Thank you very much. As a community group, we all discuss things that affect the community. And therefore, today, we have the People's Court, the state of the nation of this country called Kenya. We shall be looking at the fight against corruption. We will be looking against the fight, the economy, against how the economy of Kenya is standing. Then we shall look at the fight against Covid-19. How far have we gone? Any success? Any hope? When you read a headline that the recovery destroys your heart, do you really have the energy to go and kill your heart when you have your heart, which was breathing very nicely? What comes in your mind? My panel, we have struggled it in the morning with Miriam. We want to see this second phase. Why? You leave home with a very good heart. And then they are telling you, you are, you know that the people will just say, I'm not coming. You suffer damage in the heart, lungs, and the brain. If you are recovered. So there's something which is very worrying on COVID-19. So we shall look at that. With us on the panel from Malindi, in the far end, right end, top corner, is none other than Karen Joseph from Malindi, our coast, the legacy correspondent, trend correspondent from the coast, covers Malindi, Lamu, Mombasa, the entire Kilifi, Kwale, Lunga, up to the border in Tanzania. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Dr. Matsanga. Good morning, Miriam at the studio. Good morning, West Songa and Professor Gerard Onyari. This is Karen Joseph from Malindi, representing the legacy.
The entire coastal region of Kenya. Down in the right left-hand corner is our investigative journalist, West Songa. Good morning.
A very good morning, Dr. Matsanga, Miriam Ogutu, Professor Jared Onyari, and Karen Joseph in Mombasa, and of course, our viewers across the globe. A very good morning. This is Daniel Wesonga for Radio Punchline Africa and Punchline Africa Limited.
Thank you very much. Last, a very good friend of mine, chaplain Professor Gerard Onyari, conflict resolution expert. A man who speaks it as it is, a man who wants unity. It's better we have unity, eat unity, drink unity, and live unity of purpose than to have power. Professor Gerard Onyari, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Masanga, Miriam, Karen, and Daniel, together with our viewers.
So thank you very much. Let's go on it. Miriam, set the pace. Right. Corruption and corruption. Waruke, the wife, the girlfriend. The sister. I don't know which one we can use, one of those. So with Waruke, when Songa can tell us, because they come from the same place. And Waruke and the co-accused are seeking bond, pending their appeal. They want to get out. The DPP has said no way. This case, determine it, and then we go. What is your comment? Back to Miriam open square.
Right, thank you so much. And Doctor, as you have said there, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Nurdin Haji, has opposed the application for bond pending appeal by Sirisia Member of Parliament John Waluke and his co-convict Grace Wahungu. In his response, the DPP, through Principal Prosecution Counsel Rubia Okoth, argued that the convicts have not raised any serious grounds to warrant the grant of bond or bail pending appeal. He says the decision of the trial magistrate was arrived at based on evidence proved beyond reasonable doubt, and I will quote what DPP said there. The sentence meted out by land trial magistrate is lawful, just, sufficient, punitive, and in compliance with the express provisions of Section 48, subsection 1A, Section 48, subsection 2A of the Anti-Corruption Economics Crime Act of 2003. He observed that the sentences imposed by the learned trial magistrate took into account the lengthy mitigation by the applicants, which included issues relating to their age and health. And also he said Mr. Luke admitted the following critical facts that constituted key element in proving the offences for which he was charged. So what the DPP here is saying, Mr. Luke even admitted to having committed some of these economic crimes. So how is it now that they're asking to be released out on bond even as they await their appeal? So that is the question.
You know what, Miriam? This not you. These are people who are going to disappear. It's better, you know, somebody can disappear and do plastic surgery. Plastic surgery, and he comes, he can even be around, it's the same man. Waluke is near the border. It's very risky. He could go to the bush and start fighting the government of Uhuru Kenyatta because he's very, very aggressive against the government. I think, to me, short. Let me not make a long story, please. I pray that the magistrates listen, the DPP, don't give them bail.
All right, Professor, this is what the DPP said, that Waluke and Wahungu intended appeal has no chance of success. And some of the reasons he is giving is that Waluke has failed to prove that he suffers from a health condition that cannot be treated in the prison health facilities or government referral hospitals where prisoners are taken for more serious convictions. And these were grounds that Waluke was seeking, to establish his need to be given out, to be out, even as his appeal continues there. What's your take on that, Prof?
Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Miriam. When the magistrate was sentencing Waluke and his core group, he said that they had 14 days for the right of appeal. They have appealed. And Miriam, I believe in the rule of law. I believe in our constitution, regardless some of the areas which I don't agree, but that's the document we have, legitimate document. In the Bill of Rights, once you are entitled, it's not the first one to make an appeal and ask for bail. So be it as it may, so long as it's a constitutional, the trial apparent court should grant him bail, give him strict measures on terms of the bond, so that he does his case. And if what the Director for Public Prosecution is saying, if they can try that case within 2 weeks, and then he's told you stay in committee, so be it. But since the Constitution requires that he can put a bond and do the appeal, so that's the direction.
All right, very well, Karen.
Yes, I think we should set a good example here by going by the Constitution. It's not like we're setting a bad example, no, but let's go by the rule of law, and nobody is above the rule of law. So if nobody's above the rule of law, then let's put it into practice for now. Miriam.
Thank you so much. And Daniel, I know this is something you've been really looking forward to talk about. Go ahead. What's your thoughts of this appeal and some of the reasons that Waluke is saying, he would warrant him to be allowed to be out of, jail, even as his appeal process continues?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. And one thing I'll tend to state categorically that I tend to take a different path when it comes to Waluke's bail application. Because one thing, when you look at the previous cases and try to do a comparative analysis, is that whenever these people have been accused of corruption charges in our courts, have been accorded a bond and been let free, they always go back and instead of trying to maybe strengthen their defense, what they do is to go and interfere with the evidence and the witnesses who have been brought before the court of law. So I believe once Waluke and his co-accused are given this bond to get freedom from the prison, whatever they're going to do, as it has been the norm of Kenyan corrupt leaders, is to go and interfere with evidence, interfere with witnesses to scuttle this case. And I believe me, you, Miriam, if this happens, then you can be rest assured that this case is going nowhere. Waluke and his co-accused are going to walk out there scot-free. And another thing is that the law cannot be applied with some kind of rationality. Let us apply the law in a way that we ensure that there's justice. And justice here, I mean people of Kenya. You know, this is the money that was stolen when people of Kenya were in a very perilous time. They were facing hunger and starvation, and people had to conspire and defraud the government of over 297 million at that time. What a bigger crime can we ever have as a country? And of course, the magistrate, Ms. Juma, gave a very deserving judgment, depending with the severity of the crimes that they committed some years back. So to me, I think as much as we do talk about the constitution, the rule of law, and proper governance, we should also put in mind that when we do a comparative analysis, previous cases where these corrupt leaders have been given a bond to get some freedom, they have always worked against the will of justice. So that is one thing that we should put into consideration. And I am of a very fervent opinion that Waluke and his co-accused should not be given a bond. Let us, first of all, pursue this matter, get a full judgment, and then from there they can pursue other avenues of securing their freedom. That is my opinion, Miriam.
All right, very well. And Dr. One of our viewers here is saying, Hassan, saying selective and preferential treatment of corruption cases in Kenya is the problem. Economic crimes by prominent people should be dealt with just like crimes committed by common mwananchi. And that is what the DPP has been trying to prove in this case, because there has been allegations that have been founded, that a lot of times these high crime cases, they get a bit of some lenient treatment. When if it was just a common person who was not famous and did the same crime, they would face the full wrath of the law. But when it comes to certain individuals, there seems to be a different way they're being treated in this law. So is there a special law that looks at Akina Waluke, and is there a special law that looks at the normal monarchy in this country? And how is this case important in terms of proving that our justice system can really bring justice? Doctor. Professor.
Yeah, Miriam, I've said this one with a lot of humility and a lot of being straight and being honest, because I like speaking the truth. So long as we have in our statutes, so many other days, so many people appealed. It is because it happened that Honorable Waluke is a member of parliament, he belongs to Tanga, he has been involved. So the media report, so many cases like this happens, and the people do apply for bond. That's what and the law does not allow we discriminate. That is the law we have. Mm-hmm. There's nothing we can do. It is in the statutes, and unless if we don't want for these people to, once they have been sentenced, to get bond, then we change the law. But you know, the judicial process is a process. You go to the magistrate court, you go to high court, from high court you go to court of appeal, from court of appeal you can go all the way to Supreme Court. So it is a process, and is exercising his constitutional right because it is in the law.
So one of the grounds that Waluke is seeking to be given this bond is because he's saying he's having some health problems, but according to the DPP, Waluke has failed to prove that he suffers from a condition that can be treated at any referral government hospital or any prison health facility. I think now he realizes that perhaps it is time if he wants to get treated, go to these hospitals that really they don't go to when they have those privileges that comes with the offices they hold.
Miriam, on that, let me tell you, we roast the former town clerk for the Nairobi city, Gakuo. He said he's sick, he's having a health condition. He told the court did not take it very serious. As we speak today,
He's dead.
Gakuo is not with us. So what we need, if he alleges that he is sick, is entitled to government medical doctor who will examine him. If he finds what he's saying is the truth, he will be granted on the health grounds. What will we gain if he loses his life and he has made an appeal? So his judgment will still be hanging. So the government doctor, qualified doctors, should assess for him to find out whether the allegation is making is true or not true.
And if at all he has a special condition, then perhaps they should get him a specialist of some sort. But what the DPP is saying, he has not been able to establish that he actually has an existing condition, and whatever he's suffering from can be treated in a national referral hospital, say in Kenyatta. When you go there, I see a lot of prisoners. They are being brought for treatment, or any other prison health facility. They'll offer him, the treatment. But Waluke is saying, no, I don't want to be treated here. I want to be treated outside of in other facilities. And they're saying, no, the condition you're suffering from can be treated within the government facility. So they're saying you will be treated. They're offering him that.
We are wasting time on this. Miriam, let's not, Professor, please. Even Mahatma Gandhi died.
Mahatma
Gandhi, sorry, no, I am thinking of the other Gandhi, Indira Gandhi. He died. He was a very good man, like you. You remember how many people died of hunger? How many? Because they were promised bags of maize that never came. You remember the Prime Minister of Singapore? What did he do? Where is Singapore today? Singapore lends us money, yet we used to lend them money. Why don't we jail some people? Rwanda, 2 million people died. Population was reduced. Today, Rwanda is everybody. We want to fly there. Every Kenyan you find on tarmac at JKIA goes to Rwanda. Why? They detained these guys. It's thieves. Thieves. Why is thieves? These are just too close. Waluke and this woman, they are too close to the border. They will cross, you will never see them. How much money will the government waste? You know, I've been listening. That's why I had to take a back seat.
Doctor, you are not addressing that the Constitution says that they...
What Constitution? What Constitution?
Of the Republic of Kenya.
No, wait first. The Constitution, when he was stealing, did they see the Constitution?
Fine. We have to exhaust all the avenues. He has got a sentence already.
Him by locking him in industrial area, let him go to the doctor in Kenyatta, escorted with pingo and another pingo on the legs.
And we have to Professor, that those who break the rule of law should not run to the same rule of law for protection whenever they are found into in a very precarious situation. And that is why look at stealing money when they were depriving Kenyans of food. When Kenya was in a dire need of this food, what law were they following? So
are you going Professor, are you going to bring the dead bodies of the people who died? When Waluke told us that the stores were full of maize, kumbe, hot air.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But what does the rule of law and good governance says? We have got institutions. You go to magistrate court. You go to high court. You go to court of appeal.
And President Kenyatta said, "Yeah, we are."
You want us to terminate at the magistrate level?
Is America not the one which brought independence? 260 years. The owner of the bank that cheated the girl. You tell me, the owner, the friend of Richard of Bush, where is he? The friend of Bush. The friend of Bush is in jail for life. Wait Wesonga kwanza wacha nimalizane hii na good governance. Watu hao wanasema good governance. Good governance going to Indian Ocean and have good governance by sinking there. Sink and die. Good governance what? This is the good governance you are talking about in Nairobi. You want the governor to remain there with brings. And we say good governance. We bring body shortly. Roads are working, man. The street kids are earning a living. Previously, Mr. Sonko was using the street kids to earn money from foreigners. But now we are using the street kids to be productive. If you had waited for good governance, would you, would you have the streets? Let's get these guys. Let them learn a lesson. And if the appeal judge should increase the sentence, both pay the money and serve the sentence. The law in Kenya says
I have no problem with that, but the due process of the law should be followed. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Professor, we don't have a problem with the due process of the law being followed. Our issue here is that we only hope that the judge or the appellate court judge will not accord these people a bond to get freedom. And that is what happens world over. Today in the US, if someone is convicted of mass shooting, trust me, that person will not be able to access to successfully secure a bond and get freedom. Even in the more developed states like Israel, I happened yesterday to read a certain article about the Mossad, how they operate, and there was a certain director who was saying there are some kind of criminalities where you do not have to apply law. You have to check at the safety of the citizens. You have to check at how the conditions are, and then you take a maneuver around that situation. And that is what is happening. Kenya has already set a precedent when it comes to corruption. And we need not to backtrack on that by offering these guys bonds. And of course, there are guys who cannot be trusted. Someone like Waluke, Dr. Mazanga has clearly stated that he lives close to the Ugandan border, and there is no security that Waluke, once released, they will be able to abide by the laws and be able to stay within the restricted areas. These are politicians, for God's sake.
Where is Mrs. Bogo? Where's Mrs. Bogo? The PS of NYS, where is she? We have that beautiful face, where is she? She's enjoying. She needed the money to be drawn on her account. The court gave her money. You remember? That's due process, Mr. Okama. Professor Okama.
I don't know why you are getting me. You are getting me the point. Yes. You are not getting my perspective.
We are getting your point.
People have been released on a bill by the bond to do their appeal. The Constitution allows that.
It's part of the Constitution. Yes.
So for us, we are supporting the DPP, Mr. Professor Onyari. We support the DPP that you cannot use a condition that does not exist to circumvent justice.
Fine. I have said the town clerk, the former town clerk of Nairobi, he said he was sick. The DB argued that way, the way you are arguing, and as of today, we don't have him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, then what about the people in Isiolo? What about the people in Lodwar who died of hunger?
Why? So long as we have not exhausted the avenues of the judiciary, let us also condemn someone at the magistrate level.
We also deny the people bags of maize.
That does not the due process.
Yeah, we have followed it. Are they not making an appeal? Have they told you that the Kenyatta hospital is closed?
Fine, Daktari. Who has told you the Church of High Court is not going to agree with the magistrates?
We are only pressurizing him.
If he is going to agree with the magistrate, he has already asked the sentence.
Okay, Professor, you've talked about the case of John Gaku.
Professor is stuck.
And
Professor is saying we just follow the due
if you present your case in a court of law, it is upon your legal team to have that proof of burden. So if John Gaku said that he was ailing from an ailment that he needed some specialized kind of treatment, it was upon his counsel to prove to the court that indeed our client needed this urgent treatment. And the same case has been unable to convincingly prove to the court that the kind of ailment that he's suffering from needs a specialized treatment outside the hospital that has been provided by our justice system. So let him prove that he deserves to go outside other medical facilities. Then the court shall allow. We are not against him seeking medical treatment outside the whatever that is provided. But our main problem is using an excuse, something that is non-existent, to circumvent the will of justice. That is our main problem.
All right.
And also, Miriam, before we leave this subject, when Waluke's sentence was handed down, people went to the toilet 45 million times.
Do we know these people?
Yes, I'm using it literally. What were they render short call, long call? They couldn't comprehend the amount. People could not comprehend. Miriam, I am telling you, that day some people did not eat properly, especially those who touch government money. It has served as a deterrent. We are not going to shoot people on firing squad to annoy good gentlemen with good hearts like a Professor Onyari.
Professor is a diplomat.
It's Mother Teresa, equivalent of Calcutta, Mumbai. He wants things to be done nicely, which is very good. When you start a conflict resolution, like me, I have a good heart, but there is also a heart which punishes. So, Waluke and Madame Wahungu have served as a deterrent. If you dilute the deterrent, then the medicine might not cure the wound. So, leave that. If I were the judge today giving the last sentence, stay in prison. Let's hear the full appeal. When it succeeds, you go out. If it doesn't succeed, and the Kenyatta National Hospital is very clean with nice, in fact, the prison is given priority beds.
Yeah, they are.
Special treatment to prisoners who are brought in. Go and show your eyes there. If you have AIDS, declare uko na AIDS na kuuma. Waluke told us is gross money. It gross. You know, I don't want to turn into Kibukusu language. Aromari, alini kisende chingali. He grows money. Why don't you bring that clip there? Bring the clip where Waluke says, if Uhuru says he has money, I grow money. Wesonge, am I wrong?
Not really. And he went ahead to
Waluke never paid my money of $7,000. I gave him $7,000 to do T-shirts. He lied to me, he was going to stand on PNA ticket. He switched to your party called ODM. When I tried to talk about him, they brought goons to beat me up almost in Intercontinental Hotel. Now, if a prayer has arrived, let it arrive.
I want you to knock me down. Does the law allow him to make the appeal or not?
It does.
The law allows him to make the appeal.
Yes, it does.
But what we are only pleading with the chief, the appeal man, please don't allow it. We agree with
Does the law allow him to put to make a fair application?
Yes, it is allowed, but don't allow it.
Dr. President Kenyatta said we are an open society and we follow the rule of law.
Is there anybody who has closed Waluke from making an appeal?
He did. But here's the thing.
He has made an appeal. But we are only encouraging the judge to also weigh the other two sides.
He will be doing outside the law.
No, listen, to weigh two sides. This case has killed one man, is already down.
So side one?
Yes, there's one man down, Jacob Ojuma. So how do you know that Waluke, after being released for his own safety, the man who killed Jacob Ojuma could be coming for Waluke?
For his own safety.
For his own safety. So we are asking, at times the GPP younger man to ask some of us to frame this question.
So we need him to stay there.
I'm also, if my friend, I'm going to tell him, one of the problems why Waluke should stay in custody in industrial area is he could be killed by unknown killers who killed Jacob Ojuma. The magistrate has no powers. Is he going to police people who might come and kill Waluke?
That's another school of thought. If you pursue that way, for insecurity, then it's good for him to be inside.
Yes.
I can agree with you on that.
But his defense did not say his life will be in danger.
The DPP next time, and the Bwana DPP nakwambia, this clip will be sent to you.
But the defense team of
Waluke. No, wait, you are my son. At times, ask some of us also to give you advice. Yes, the Commonwealth law says DPP, and let the DPP hear me. Waluke's release is a security risk.
For his own life.
For his own life. And you don't need to go to court to say too many words. Say only one sentence. I swear, I wish. Let the DPP give me one of these cases to prosecute.
And that one sentence will be Jacob Juma, who was also involved in the same
one
scandal.
Sentence will be, on this case, one of the main men who should be standing trial was mysteriously killed. The killers have never been found.
So they could be out there looking for a lookie.
Yes, the PPP should submit the following.